Hey everyone, welcome to Reddit Readout. Today we are checking out AmItheA whole. Story 1. AITA for not serving alcohol at my Halloween party. 27F, don't drink alcohol. It's a personal decision, I don't mind if other people drink around me, as long as they respect my desire not to and don't get pushy. I regularly host parties and small gatherings with friends, and I usually serve a variety of food and non-alcoholic beverages, usually beverages that I would drink if there were any left over, and I'm fine with people bringing their own alcohol if they want to drink, and it's never been an issue before. Most of my friends know I don't drink, and my parties are usually a success either way. This year I hosted a Halloween party, and I invited friends, and a couple co-workers that were cool but I wasn't super close friends with yet, and a few friends brought over their friends as well. As usual, I didn't serve alcohol. Things were going fine, and then my co-workers showed up, a few of them clearly already slightly buzzed. My best friend Kev, who knows I don't drink, and had sometimes brought his own alcohol to my place in the past, starts chatting with my co-workers, and then after while, loudly starts talking about wanting a drink, and offers to go to the convenience store down the block to buy some alcohol. People were excited about this, so Kev left, got some booze, and came back. After the party, before he left, Kev pulled me aside, and gave me a lecture. He told me that he respected my decision not to drink, but that if I was throwing a party for anyone outside of my close friends, alcohol was an expectation, and that I was going to disappoint a lot of people, or be seen as misleading if there wasn't alcohol. He insisted that next time, I should at least warn people that I wasn't serving alcohol, in case that was a deal breaker or they wanted to bring their own, but that really, I should just suck it up and serve alcohol at my parties in the future. He also insisted that he'd saved my party by going out and buying booze, and asked if I would chip in for the cost of the alcohol he'd bought. I was shocked, and refused, but today Kev sent me a Venmo request for it anyway, and reminded me that I owed him for it. His Venmo request was for $75. I was shocked and hadn't realized it was such a big deal. AITA for not serving alcohol and for not warning people about this in advance. Story 2. AITA for bringing a restaurant dish to a party meant to show my nephew easy dishes to make. 29F, had a much older sister who passed 5 years ago. We were not very close though friendly. Through my sister I have a nephew, Mike, 18M. Mike lives with his dad. 4 months ago they moved to the city I and most our family are living in. I was working across the country most of that time and recently got back. Last week my Aunt Wendy, 59F, invited friends and family to a potluck party. She asked that we bring a simple dish to the party to show Mike what he could cook since he would soon be living by himself. Mike graduated last year, but because he was still 17 he continued living with his father. He was taking a gap year and spent it working part-time jobs. He turned 18 in November and intended to move out early next year to the city where his college is. He can't cook at all though, family worries. My sister did all of the cooking while she was with them, and after she passed, Mike and his dad lived mostly on takeouts and microwavable meals. This was why Wendy asked everyone to bring a dish and give Mike a quick advice on how to put the dish together. I personally thought the kid could Google it, it's 2023. Still, there was merit to actually see the food and being able to ask how it was done, how long, and how much, that kinda stuff. So I said yes to the party. Now I'm an okay cook and I plan to bring over my one-pan roasted chicken, potato, vegetables. But life happened and I had an errand across town and found out as I was half an hour away from my house that I left the pan on my kitchen counter. My boyfriend has parents who are immigrants from Asia and so is well versed with Chinatown. He showed me where to get things for delicious and cheap, when certain stores had things on sale and such. So instead of driving back home and be almost an hour late to the party, I stopped by Chinatown and got the soy chicken at one of my usual spot and went to the party. Everyone really did their best with the easy meals and there were lots of pasta and stew dishes, and I'm sure Mike got a clear picture on what he could be feeding himself with. Wendy did not look happy, however, when she saw my restaurant chicken. She asked me what I planned to be teaching Mike with my dish. I told everyone the price of my soy chicken and they were all astonished. The soy chicken was delicious and at such a bargain. I told Mike that there are many ways to get food that is good and cheap. It's all in knowing where to look for them. Everyone then asked me for details on the restaurant and if I know any other places to get such a good deal. Even Mike's dad said I should have let him know sooner so he and Mike doesn't have to order in all the time. Wendy was sulking, however. After the party, yes, my soy chicken was all gone. She said that I was being inconsiderate and telling Mike that he doesn't need to know how to cook, which is a vital life skill. I told her I simply presented an alternative for Mike to get food. AITA? Story 3. AITA for not handling electronics. My husband gifted to me nicely enough. My husband throughout the years has gifted me an iPad, MacBook, and an iPhone. I tend to be a clumsy person overall and drop stuff, or use my personal belongings kind of carelessly. I'm not sure why this is. I guess I've always been a bit careless and sloppy and can't seem to get a grip of it. My current phone is the one my husband gifted to me a few years ago. The screen has always been pretty scratched because I never got any protective gear for it. Today I dropped it on the floor and the screen finally cracked. Not too badly, but still cracked. I told my husband and he was pissed off with me. He complained that I don't look after the expensive stuff he gives me and that even my laptop is all scratched on the outside. I felt bad and apologized, but he remained upset/accusatory. I started to feel defensive, but at the same time I'm pretty sure I have no right to feel that way. So I'm going to ask here to get some outside views. AITA for treating expensive gifts too carelessly? TLDR, AITA for not being careful with gifts. Story 4. AITA for using the court system to help me. My mother passed away over 2 years ago. Myself and my 2 half-siblings inherited a piece of property with a mobile home. One of my siblings moved into it. An appraisal was obtained and I agreed to sell my share to them for roughly 60% of the value of my share. Over the last 2 years, I paid for probate with no help from either of my siblings. To keep creditors from forcing the place to be sold to pay medical costs, we had it moved to the 3 of our names. It's been over 2 years, I have pled with them to buy me out or agree to sell. I have a business and home I am on the verge of losing due to the economy and am struggling to keep my head above water. The sibling living in the residence is going through a lot too, I understand this. I have purchased things to send her to help in the past. I've not received so much as a message letting me know she received the things I sent, even though she has. That sibling told me if I'd give her 6 months to try to get a loan, if she couldn't after that period, she would agree to put it up for sale without me needing to use legal means. That 6-month period ended in April of 2023. After she told me basically she didn't care about my situation, and would keep the place because it means more to her than to me, I decided to give her notice that if she couldn't buy me out, I would be contacting an attorney to use the court system to force it to be sold, and the price I was willing to sell before is off the table. I want fair market value. The place is in disarray. The little 2-bedroom house is at minimum 3 adults and 5 children. With her share she could relocate and have a down payment for something bigger. They both let me know what piece of garbage I am for forcing it to be sold. Am I supposed to lose everything I've worked for now so she doesn't have to move with money in her pocket? Story 5. AITA for asking if Asian people buy ginger. So I was eating dinner with my family TN and my dad mentioned that while he was at the grocery store, he saw 2 people buy most of the ginger. I asked, oh, were they Asian? BC1, I know Asian people tend to buy a lot of ginger especially in the winter for various meals/drinks, and 2, I have a lot of Chinese and Korean friends who frequently buy ginger, mostly for fresh tea and stuff. But my parents acted like it was this horrible question. I'm conflicted. AITA? Edit. Thanks everyone for responding. I get now that while it wasn't a terrible question, and I truly didn't have bad intentions, it was definitely one that was super weird and not really worth asking. Story 6. AITA for telling my half-sister that I don't want to have anything to do with her. Okay, so my parents divorced almost 11 years ago and my mom remarried in a few months since she was pregnant and gave birth to my half-sister. So the thing is, I've never wanted anything to do with my mom's new family for a bunch of reasons, so I just lived with my dad and didn't have much contact with them. So last week my mom for some reason decided that it's a priority for me to have a relationship with my half-sister and basically just dropped her off at me and my dad's home. She refused to come pick her up until later in the evening, so I was basically forced to watch her for the evening. I decided that it shouldn't be too big of a issue, throw on some TV for her and do my own thing in the meantime. She however decided it was a necessity that I come play with her, and after a ton of pestering I told her I don't want to do anything with you, I'm just watching you till your mom gets back home. Story 7. AITA for not wanting my boyfriend to bring his gaming PC on vacation. My boyfriend, M24, and I, F23, have a vacation coming up that I've been actively planning for about 3 months now. This is something I've always done every year, whether it's with a friend group, family, or S/O, so it's something I've been anticipating for basically an entire year. This year I wanted to make it a private trip for me and my boyfriend, who we'll call Brad. I've already booked and paid for the hotel and a few of the activities we'll be doing, which I was bringing up to him to see if there's anything else that he would specifically like to do. I eventually brought up the fact I'd like to go bar hopping and see some live music and or go walk on the beach at night, when Brad said we couldn't do anything after 9 PM since he would be playing video games. Brad plays Rainbow Six Siege with a group of his college friends on his gaming PC. They play every night in order to practice for some sort of competition/tournament they have coming up. It's nothing professional, a sports level or anything, but I know they do take it seriously and I understand and respect that. I play games on my own PC myself, so I understand. But seeing as how they need to practice, he says he's bringing his entire PC setup to the beach with us. I tried bringing up the fact I was hoping the trip could be more intimate and focused around us doing stuff together, since it's only a 4-day/3-night trip and we wouldn't be gone that long. Brad is adamant on bringing his PC, and saying that me trying to convince him not to is selfish and he feels like I'm controlling him and how he spends his time. His main argument point is that we have all day to do stuff and he only wants to be on his PC at night. He also said I should bring my PC so we can play games together, but we don't even play games together while we're at home since I don't play R6 and he constantly has a full group anyways. I'm trying to put my foot down about this and the argument has come to the point where he is saying he won't come on the trip if he can't bring it and have his gaming time at night. AITA for wanting a trip without his PC coming along with us? That's all for today. Please don't forget to like and subscribe.